For several years, I wrote to people who were in prison, and about half the time they actually wrote me back. Now, I'm going to read here some of the people, a list of some of the people who wrote back to me. Lynette Squeaky from Charles Manson, yes. Charles Tex Watson, Robert Bobby Busele, that's all from that so-called Manson group. Carlton Michael Gary, the Columbus Stocking Strangler. Eric Robert Rudolph, Centennial Park Bomber. Lawrence Pliers Bittaker. David, son of Sam Berkowitz. Ian Brady, the Moors murderer. And also Pam Smart and Betty Broderick. Dennis Rader, BTK. And there were a couple of others who were some others who were much less notorious. Okay, now I've also been asked, why do I write to them and how do you get them to write back? Okay, now about half of the time they don't write back, okay? So, that's that. When they do write back, it's generally because I've put out there a question that they find interesting. Okay. Like for example, with the notorious Mr. Manson, I sent him my the Manson myth essay. Okay, and we went from there. Now, in the case of David Berkowitz and Lawrence Bittaker, I asked about adoption issues. Okay, now I don't want to in any way stigmatize adopted people because adoptees, generally speaking, do very well. But the fact is they are overrepresented as serial murderers. Okay, 2 to 3% of the population is adopted, and there's 16% of serial murderers. So I asked these two people about the serial murder connection. Oh, by the way, they didn't think it was that important. Bittaker said that he thought that perhaps the adopters were just less likely to be successful parents, and he also thought that there could be something to the nature part of the nature versus nurture debate, since he has his biological parents and his biological relatives have not done that well, although they did not end up on death row. Excuse me. But in other cases, the main thing that I found in writing to people who are in prison is to try to find some sort of common ground or something they're interested in. Are they interested in religion? I send them essays I've written on the Bible. Okay, are they interested in art? We talk about art. Are they interested, what are they interested in? And you go from there and you try to approach them as you would anybody else, and not as the notorious monster, because while anybody else might think of them as a notorious murderer, they just think of them as themselves.